Okay, let's start our retouching by changing the color of the background a little bit. We're gonna go and use selective color tool. We'll choose yellow and change the color of the background a little bit to more neutral for now. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, now let's work a little bit on his skin, kind of to bring it to more neutral state. Okay, that looks good for now. Okay, let's adjust a little bit more color. If you watched my previous tutorials, like I mentioned before, there is no right or wrong how you retouch your pictures. I like to work as flexible as possible and create probably more layers than I should, but I like to keep everything organized, so in case somewhere along the way I have to come back and fix everything, I have all the layers available for me. Okay, so let's create a little bit base contrast for the picture. Just a classic S-curve, give that little pop of the face. Okay, I like to give that a little bit cinematic look. You have to be careful by doing this kind of curve. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes it doesn't. So always pay attention what it does to the shadows. I think that looks pretty good for now. Let's group everything. Try to label as many things as you can. I know sometimes when you edit, things get out of control, but try to keep everything as organized as possible. Okay, so all the adjustments I'm going to be doing under the contrast, like a little dodging right now. Okay, we're going to invert the mask, Control I, a little shortcut. I'm going to bring out eyes a little bit. I really want eyes to stand out on his picture. Normally I don't recommend aiming for doing vampire kind of looking eyes, but on this particular image it works pretty good. So again, you can apply the same technique over and over for everything. You always have to adjust something based on what you're shooting. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Copy that just to give a little more effect. And now I'm going to create a clipping mask that only going to affect the layer below it. And we're going to go to the neutral and we'll see how that changes the color of the eyes. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. Again, in this particular photo, I'm not aiming to be precise or accurate. I'm just looking for some interesting effect, interesting looking portrait. And check out on and off. Okay, soft light. There's a couple of ways I like to do dodging and burning. One is on the gray layer like I'm doing right now, And the second technique I like to use is to actually use actual adjustment layers. Okay, just bringing up little details like a little silhouette. For the sake of tutorial, I'm doing a little sloppy job, I guess, but you get the point. Okay, just working face a little bit. And that looks kind of cool. That gives effect a little bit of kind of 3D graphic, a little surrealistic effect. I like that. In this particular composition, I think it works pretty well. Just paint a little bit of knuckles. Giving little details to the gun. I guess I would classify this particular edit more like commercial photography, I say. It's kind of interesting mixture, but whatever you want to call that. Yeah, I just want to make sure the gun stands out, that nice highlight on the metal. Check out before and after. Okay, just gonna paint a little bit on the clothing. Kind of look cool. I mean, obviously, if this would be a fashion photo, I would be, you know, doing accent on the wrinkles and all that. I would try to fix them, but in this particular setup, I think it works pretty well. And now I'm gonna burn a little bit. I normally don't like burning too much, but it depends on the photo. Okay. I like moody portraits, that's why I'm doing accents on, you know, dodging and burning a little bit to kind of create that interesting CGI look, I guess. But it would be your personal preference, how whenever you want to use this kind of technique. I think it works pretty well in this kind of scenarios. Just painting all over his cheeks. Like you'll see before and after. Right now it's like completely different person. Look at that. Just a little bit. Pretty sloppy burning, and it's already making a huge difference. Just randomly painting shadows a little bit. Look at the difference. That kind of looks pretty cool. Okay, we'll group that. That way we don't have a giant tree of layers. Again, checking before and after. Try to always check before and after as often as you can. That way you're not going to carry it away by the edits you may not like in the future. Okay, I'm working more on the colors. I'm going to be coming back to the color panel pretty often to go along with the edit. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of snow. I downloaded it online. I'm going to provide you a link below where I purchased the textures. They have a whole bunch of different cool textures like milk, rays, and all that. Pretty cool website. Make sure to check them out. So I'm going to start building, I guess, layers from the texture. There's a few snow texture I'm going to use. I'm going to add a little bit of motion blur to some of them. I'm going to stretch some of them, so you're going to see it's going to look pretty interesting. Okay, rotate this. I'm doing freestyle edit. You know, I wasn't practicing recording this before, so I'm pretty much coming up with the stuff on the spot, on the go. So this is pretty much like a real freestyle editing. Okay, just position snow in some interesting place. That kind of look cool. See how much life few snow textures already gave to the portrait. It's like now it started getting some kind of atmosphere. Look at that, look how cool it looks. There's a few ways you can do that effect. You can paint it yourself if you like. There's plenty of textures out there online for free you can download. There's brushes you can get. I mean, there's a tons of ways you can create effects such as snow, smoke, rain. They're not really difficult to do. Okay, dropping texture. I like to build layers of textures. That way it's not, you know, one texture just with a different size. It kind of looks different a little bit. I feel like it's creating more depth like that. Okay. So I'm gonna add a little bit of motion blur. Not too much because you're gonna start losing details, but just a little bit will do the justice. Okay, we'll group everything. We'll put it under, that way it's affected by all the color and contrast changes that we've done. Blends better a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna go to the colors right now, and we're gonna add another selective color, and we're gonna work on the color of his face a little bit. Okay, that's a little too yellow, I think. That kind of look cool, I guess. Okay, we'll close it for now. Okay, another curves layer. We're gonna give midtones a little boost. Okay, and with the opacity, I'm just gonna dial it to my taste. Create another layer, shadows, and I'm just gonna use a regular black brush with small opacity, something like 15, maybe 20, and I'm just gonna paint the light. I like painting the shadows and lighting afterwards. I think it's kind of cool. It gives definitely a lot of atmosphere feel, and it helps to focus on the main character, as you can see over here. It's a pretty simple and cool technique. Look at it. Look how big of a difference that is. Just a couple of brush strokes. Okay, so now we're gonna do color adjustment, final. I'm gonna go to the neutrals, and we're gonna dial the final look. I think that looks kind of cool. Very nice military looking color. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the channel mixer to take away a little bit of saturation from overall image. That's gonna look pretty cool. So 20/80, that's my ratio. That's my golden ratio, you may want to say. And with opacity, anything between 15 to 30% looks great all the times. Okay, check it out. And now I'm using crazy shortcut Shift Control Alt E to merge all visible layers. And I'm going to desaturate this, and I'm going to go to the others, high pass, and I'm going to give radius of 3 pixels to sharpen the image. And you're going to see how big of a difference it makes right now. And then the blend mode is a soft light. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see before and after. Look at that. It's crazy difference. On people faces, I don't recommend going more than 3 because you may start getting artifacts. But anything between 2 and 3 is perfect. Okay. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of grain. So I created a 50% gray layer with a soft light, and I added noise. Okay, and now I'm gonna increase the size to emulate that old school 16mm film grain. And if you watch my previous tutorial, like I said, there's a tons of plugins out there that can give you probably more detailed, more natural film grain. But you know, this method works. You don't have to buy anything. It's in the Photoshop, and it's pretty cool. It also helps if you have a color bending. Adding a little bit of noise helps out an overall situation. Look at that before and after. As you can see, it's not too difficult, pretty easy process. Just gonna adjust his face a little bit. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, please leave the comments below. See ya.